Hey guys, Stef Z here again for another breakdown of How to Get Away with Murder, season 13 episode. Season 3, 13. Jeez, I can't get it together. It is season 3, episode 2. Now, this episode, there's a lot going on, and I'm gonna try and break it down. I'm gonna try and keep it a little bit character by character, scene by scene, but I want to know what you're thinking. So you can always tweet me. You can always leave comments. I will get back. But one thing that I actually watched, and I rewatched in slow motion a couple times, and I can be crazy. I know sometimes my theories come a little bit from left field, but I feel as if the big question that's going on is who's under the sheet. And I feel as if when they lift the sheet, you see a bra strap. So that is leading me to believe that it is a woman under that sheet. And with it being a woman under that sheet, I am also, I got two theories actually about who's under the sheet. We're going to go there first. One is that there's still something about Eve. Now, I read that Annalise did that scene before they told her who was under the sheet. So that reaction that she had, that Viola Davis had when she was filming that episode, might not have been true to who actually it is under the sheet. But with that said, I still think there's a possibility it could be Eve. But I also think, now I know this might sound crazy, there'll be a few of you out there that might agree with me, but most of you might think this is crazy. I actually think that we're going back 2 months, and in these past 2 months, we are going to see a relationship progress with Annalise and the president at the school. Now, this is why. You see in that episode, I feel like there was a very flirty energy after they had the first meeting when they were just scared about Annalise. They said they weren't going to do anything. Now, and also the president's reaction after they have the second meeting when they're going to try and tell Annalise that she should stop the class and stop teaching. Those interactions to me did not seem just professional. Now, also, we have a scene with Annalise in bed with Nate, and it's kind of like she says she was dreaming and or thinking, and Nate's like, oh, who are you thinking about, whatever. And she kind of jokingly says maybe it was a woman that she was thinking about, but maybe it wasn't a joke. Like maybe something really is happening. Again, I know it's crazy. I know it's crazy. And sometimes I say crazy things that don't come true, and sometimes they kind of could be possible. So I don't know. I feel like there's something there with the president. Why is she there? Like there's just something happening. So I'm going to throw that out there. That's my two big who's under the sheet today. I think that it's either Eve or the president at school. Now, lots of other things happen in this episode. And again, like I said, I just try and go situation by situation. But we see, let's talk about Laurel and Frank right now, because we see that clearly Laurel is calling and leaving voicemails for Frank. Clearly Frank knows that Annalise is kind of in touch with Frank, speaks to Annalise because he knows that Annalise is the one that made that phone call to the guy that he ultimately killed. Is that guy Laurel's dad? I don't know, because we see also a scene where now after they make Laurel call Frank, which once they realize that Laurel is talking to Frank, they don't know if they trust Laurel. They make Laurel call Frank and say that she loves him. Now, that could be crazy or not, but one of the things that I believe Annalise says is something like, now it's just about your dad. Like she drops something about Laurel's dad. So I'm very curious to see how that plays out. But Frank is very much alive. I believe that he's probably in touch with Bonnie. I don't know. Could I go as far as saying that Frank and Annalise have this all planned and all of us fooled? I don't know that I'd go that far. Could I go as far as saying that Frank and Bonnie have it all planned? I don't know that they're smart enough to get everybody. I don't know. There's a lot still. There's a big web that still needs to be figured out and fun. But so that's a little bit of the overview that's happening with Frank. Now, we go to Oliver. Let's talk about Oliver and Connor. Now, clearly Connor still wants to be with Oliver, and Oliver is not really okay with that. He wants to be by himself. It kind of like gets down to the fact that if Connor actually really wants him to be happy, he says, then just let me be. Therefore, Connor decides to leave. In him leaving, he needs a place to crash. He goes over to Michaela's. That's how he finds out that Michaela and Asher are sleeping together, which Michaela early in the episode tries to just say that he's just a meat stick and that she doesn't care about him. But after Asher kind of sticks up, it was actually really cute. You see them sleeping together again. So I don't know, maybe that is going to stem into something more than I thought. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that will stem into something. We do have a very, a case this weekend that is, I got all these notes written down. I love it. A case this weekend where, they pick one of the students. They all get to go talk to the Irene, who's a woman that's been in jail for her husband's death. But apparently the law has changed, and some of the reasoning that might have led to her killing her husband is the abuse and the stuff that he put her through. Now that is something that can weigh in her parole judgment, that they're trying to go back and do that. She picks Connor to do the case. And this is actually, the crazy thing about this is that Connor actually winds up telling this woman that he killed somebody as well. That's ultimately how he gets her to speak. She ultimately wins, and she ultimately gets released. Does that? He builds that trust with him back to bite him in the ass. I don't know, but I'm very curious to see. Now, something else that I forgot to say about Annalise and Frank that I wanted to say is, I feel like Annalise, we see one phone, but I feel like she might have two. And I could be wrong again, but there's scenes where she goes in the box for the phone, like the jewelry box on a desk. And there's also scenes where she's going in a drawer for a phone. So could she have gotten it mixed up, who she's telling to kill who? Excuse me, I don't know. Could she, I don't know. We're going to have to see, but I feel like there's something fishy about the phones. I feel like Annalise is just using Nate because it's not love with her and Nate. It's not hot and steamy or with her and Nate. It's pretty much like Nate's there. She's still lying to him, lying to his face, which definitely leads me to believe that she is, I don't know if she's playing him as much as I think she is, but I definitely don't believe that she is being honest with Nate. I don't believe she loves Nate. I think that Nate is very convenient for her. So that's kind of what is happening with that. I mean, I really think that the Nate thing is gonna go away. And I really think that Annalise and the president are really and the president of the school who's making choices about her teaching the class and stuff. I really think that relationship is going to flourish into something. Who knows what that's going to be, but I mean, the fact that she's asking Nate to help find Frank because she's worried about her life, I don't necessarily think that's the case. I don't necessarily think that Frank's going to come back and try and do that and hurt her. I feel like Frank does feel bad, and he's just kind of, messing up. So we do see that from Frank. I don't know. I feel like Frank is a really odd character, and we're just going to have to see how that one plays out. But yeah, pretty much we see a side of Connor. It's almost like we see dual sides of Connor. We see him, standing up for this Irene in a way that I've never heard him speak before. And then, so he's got this power moment, and then he's got this crush moment where Oliver really is like, get out. Now, something else that I want to talk about is the fact that at the end, we see Oliver with Annalise. Now, this leads me to believe, I don't think that it's Connor underneath there. I don't think that that's what's happening. I think that what that means is that Oliver was probably trying to tell Annalise something was going to happen. He hacked in somewhere and found out something, or didn't tell her the exact of what he hacked and found out. And that's going to lead to the house burning down. Maybe there was a threat that they didn't take seriously. Maybe something happened, and that's going to lead to the house burning down. And that's going to lead to whoever is in there, whether it be Eve, whether it be the president, whether it be Nate, whether it be everyone else that it could possibly be. But I feel like the reason why we see Oliver is because he's hacking in to, and he is figuring out that that is something that could be a threat. Maybe he feels like he didn't get there time. So, and then we've got Wes, and Wes has a new girlfriend who we meet. We like her. Looked into her. Laurel's looking out for Wes. So there's nothing that was like such a huge reveal. The thing to me that resonated the most about this episode was this relationship with the president. I feel like it's not just business relationship, and we do see Frank going to extremes, and when he speaks to Annalise, I feel like there is remorse in his voice. Sorry that this review was up a few days late. Had a crazy weekend, but let me know what you think. Let me know what you think is going to happen this Thursday. I'm so curious to see, as this shows and plays out, who is still left and who is under that sheet. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Let me know your thoughts. You can tweet me, IAMSTEFZ. Leave comments here. I will respond, and I hope you have a great night. Bye-bye.